Seen a lot of Black Americans asking why Africans hate them, and I'm going to answer the question for you. Number one, this American ego transcends race. It doesn't matter if you're white American, brown American, or Black American. There seems to be like this ego that makes you think that you are the main character wherever you go. Therefore, when you go to places in Africa, you get surprised when you're treated like just another tourist. I've heard people saying stuff like, they only cared about my dollars. Yeah, this is a supermarket. You've gone there expecting a kinship and connection with people whose history diverges from your history. When those slave ships took off, the countries that, you came from, they went on. There were still things happening to them, and there's still things happening to them today. Your history isn't as shared as you think that it is. There isn't this kind of Black kind of community in a lot of countries in Africa because everyone's Black. I would get it if you were in Sweden and you're walking past another Black person and they didn't smile at you, and it's like, we are the only Black people here, like in this city. I'd get it. But you can't go to Africa and expect Black people to care that you're Black. And also, it's not a hate of Black Americans. There's a hatred of Americans in general. A lot of places do not have a great history with America. And while it's very much clear to us that we can live in countries like England with terrible histories and who are right now selling billions of pounds and arming places like Israel, we can understand that within these countries there are different politics, there's different dynamics, there's still social hierarchies. You cannot expect people who are on the receiving end of the violence of the countries that we live in to care that we are not at the top of the social hierarchy here. But I get called European child by my own relatives who I am literally biologically related to. Because nobody cares, because I was raised in Europe, so I might as well be white to them. Can't go to other countries and bring the race dynamics of your countries to theirs. And there are places where you go where people won't treat you like that. People will accept you and will be like, oh, I'm so happy that you're here. But you guys keep going to places that are heavily populated by tourists, by American soldiers, and a lot of these American soldiers are Black. And then you're acting surprised when people aren't that, shocked and happy to see you. So to conclude, it's not that they hate you, it's that they don't care about you.
Once Black Americans get to know a South African person or any African person and we speak, they realize that we have more in common than more not common,
Yeah.
We do have love for each other. But sometimes you know how you fight with your brother as a sibling? It's not because you don't like them. It's not because you don't like them.
Yeah.
It's always easier to fight someone who's like you than fight someone who's not like you.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean we hate each other.
Yeah.
There's just too much love. We need to give each other a chance and an opportunity to love each other and embrace.
Right.
And then you'll be surprised how we love each other. I've got a lot of American friends, both Black and white.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time, people come, I will host you, I'll show you around, you'll make your own decision.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, South Africa is a place where everyone, or just Africa is a place where everyone, or the world for that matter. You can live anywhere.
That's facts.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I love it. That was really...
True Black Africans and African Americans do not claim Black Americans. We are not the same. African tends to focus on progress, family values, and community upliftment rather than dwelling on historical grievances. They prioritize education and hard work. They don't live life blaming the white man for all their failures, challenges, or the choices that they make. Many Africans strive to give their children better opportunities and instill values like hard work and responsibilities. They don't raise their kids to hate the white man and blame them for all of their problems. That's why they can't grow. Africans are hard workers and they work on self-improvement. They hold themselves accountable for their actions instead of making everything about race and blaming the system. True Africans do not celebrate when a white kid loses his life to a Black kid. The decent Black Americans out there, we claim you. We see you. And we love you. Thank you for being a decent human being.
And the harsh reality of the situation is, Africans don't like African Americans. If you knew some Africans growing up, you knew at least one first-generation African kid who had parents who did not like African Americans at all. Like, their parents literally hated everything to do with African American culture. They hated the food, they hated the music, they hated the way we dressed, they hated everything, the way we talked, all that. And it was always so funny. And the part that always confused me was, you got here less than a generation ago and you already have internalized racism. You came here with a closed mind. Like, I completely understand you think that African Americans are lazy, but now your son out here having a mixed baby. Now what? But honestly, at this point, I can't even blame him. If I came over here and I saw people who look like me doing 20v1s and kiss or slap pranks and other stuff like that in public, I wouldn't want to be with them either.
Who came up with that conversation that Africans here in America are hating on black Americans? Do you know what it takes for an African to get an American visa in Africa? Do you know how much it costs? Do you know the stress? Do you know how long you have to wait? Me personally, I waited a year and a half. I had to fly from South Africa to Nigeria, from Nigeria to Ghana, just to get documents that the American embassy needed. Do you know how much all of that shit cost? Do you know the time, the stress, and everything that went with it? And you think after going through all this stress, wasting all this money, wasting all these times waiting for a visa, and then I finally got an American visa to come to America, and then I came to America only for me to be hating on black Americans, only for me to be hating on people that look like me, hating on people that I don't know, hating on people I'm meeting for the first time? Does that make any sense? No, does that make any sense? Just think about it for a second. Does that make any sense? It is y'all that are doing the hate. Some of y'all, though, I've met amazing black Americans, amazing ones. It is some of y'all that are doing the hate. Some of y'all hating the fact that Africans come here. In 2, 3 to 4 years, they start owning shit. They successful. They doing pretty good for themselves. They standing on their feet. They are doing pretty excellent. And y'all hating the fact that y'all who are born here still struggling and watching people who just came here 3 to 4 years ago on their feet, owning shit. And y'all hating on that. That is just straight up the base of the hate. That is nothing but straight up the base, the source of the hate, nothing else. Because hate is nothing but a jealousy. You jealous. You can't jealous what you have. You only jealous what somebody have that you don't have. That is pure jealousy. That is just not. That is just completely what it is. And then you see some of them talking about how the Africans should worship them, to thank them for building this country. If it wasn't for what they did, that the Africans wouldn't be doing successful in America. Let me clear that up. We know the black Americans that built this country. We know the icons that did the job. We appreciate them. They know we appreciate them. They know we all want Africa. We appreciate them. They will forever be appreciated. They know that. But one thing is, they never made that comment. They never made that statement about Africans need to appreciate them or thank them for building the country that they live in. They that did the work never made that statement, never make that comment. It is the ones that didn't do shit are the ones that are trying to take credit for it. The ones that didn't do shit are the ones who are trying to take credit for it. Let me ask you, of you personally, what did you do to build this country? You that is trying to take credit for the work that other people did. What did you personally do to build this country? What did you do personally? As a black American who's talking this rubbish, what did you do personally to build this country? Nothing. Isn't that ridiculous that people will do a job and other people want to take credit for it? What makes you think the Africans here ain't glad that the African, the Black American icons who built this country, that we are not thankful for them, that we do not appreciate them? What makes you think that? What makes you think we don't appreciate them? The people who did the job know that we appreciate them. But you that didn't do the job want to take credit for it. So what did you do personally to build this country? Nothing, right? But you want to take credit for it. You want all the Africans in America to bow to you for building this country. You can't dig yourself out of the mud. You can't dig yourself out of Section 8. You can't dig yourself out of government assistance. But you build the country. You can't dig yourself out of the mess that you are still struggling, but you build the country. Everybody want to take credit for what they didn't do. All in the name of hate, jealousy. Instead of learning from people who are doing better, what are they doing better that I'm not doing? Trying to learn from them to better yourself. Trying to learn from the people doing better so you can better yourself. Instead of doing that, you just hating. Not only are they hating, but they're spinning the hate and say it's the Africans that are hating on the Black Americans. For what? Hating on y'all for what? Like for what? Like one good reason why an African will be hating on the Black American. Just one good reason. For what? Nothing. But y'all, we the one doing the hate. Does that even make sense? Think about it. You don't need to cut it off for this bullshit. That's one of the most ridiculous conversations I ever heard. I never even heard this conversation before until I came to America. I never knew this conversation existed before I came to America. Until I started to witness that shit myself, and I started to wonder. These are daily experiences. For my fellow black folks that I consider black family, they're the ones doing the hate. You'd be wondering. Even the ones that I work with, the ones that I walked with, and the ones that I still work with. You don't need to cut it off. You don't need to quit the hate. I'm blaming the hate on other people. And some of y'all claim that you are not Africans. So your ancestors, they fell from the sky, landed on a boat, and then that boat brought them to America. At least the white folks, we know their ancestors from Europe. But you black, some of y'all Black Americans say your ancestors ain't from Europe, and from Africa. You ain't from Africa, so your ancestors definitely, you're probably fell from the sky and landed on the boat, and the white brought them to America.
Africans love Black Americans?
Of course, hell yeah, yeah, we love them. So that's they better be here than the States, I guess. And my English is terrible.
My African people, the Black American people say we don't like them. We hate them. They want to know why we hate them. It's not that we hate y'all. It's the fact that you guys are very uneducated when it comes to other people's culture. And another thing, they put and say that white people, we like white people more than we like them. I don't know about that, but most white person that I met, they're very well educated on wherever other people are coming from. So this education thing is a choice. You choose to educate yourself or you choose to be ignorant to other people. And of course, now, you know, Africans are known to be ignorant too, because if you're ignorant to other people's culture, they're going to be very ignorant to yours. So FYI, educate yourself about other people's culture. Don't be ignorant.
Use this occasion to address it. I wanted to make it into a whole episode. I've heard too many times that African Americans believe that we Africans look down upon them when we come to this country, that we think we're better than them. It's false, I'll tell you, based on knowledge. It's false, totally false. When we were young in Africa, we worshipped African Americans. Yes. We changed our names to African Americans. My friends in school were called Jim Brown, Black Moses. Yes.
Wow.
I was called Superfly.
Okay.
Yes.
Go King.
Blacks in Africa, the barbershop, we go to barbershop until blacks started wearing afro, and we stopped and we started wearing afro. We blacks hated our own fabric, the dashiki, until African Americans made it popular in the 70s, and we all started wearing it back. As a case, I had his albums. Yes. We've watched all the movies. Kool-Aid High, TNT Jackson, A Hell Up in Harlem, Detroit 9000, Truck Turner, you name it. And then we go home and we're trying to practice how they speak and all that. That was when we were in Africa. Ask any African who went through the 60s and 70s. They'll tell you, oh, we love them. Maya Angelou moved to Ghana, and she was like a sister.
Do Africans want to be like African Americans? The answer is yes. I was going through my Google Photos recently and come and see the things I found. This is specimen 1. This is the first example I found. I had to ask myself, why were we dressed like this? The only reason I could think of was because for the past how many years we had been watching 106 and Park. This is the influence. Is that not T.I. on the right? Is that not T.I.? My boy, his name is Toby. That's why are we dressed like fake chains? But we did not give a fuck. We wanted to be like you guys. Many of us in this picture had never even stepped out of Nigeria before. But why are we dressed like this? So if any African ever comes to you telling you nonsense, just tell them to shut up, because this is the truth. We wanted to be like you guys. You guys are cool as fuck, so don't be listening to anybody else. Thank